So, tier list. I want to start this off though. I'm gonna start a bit. I'm going to reorganize these sections. Thanks for the follow, Raggy. Much appreciated.
What a god of a gamer.
But
Seriously.
yeah, as I said just there, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to reorganize these sections. I want to be a bit more specific than just like S A B C D. I don't think there's going to be a tier. There's probably going to be like 4 tiers. I don't. But okay, I want to address this first. So S. I think a proper a good tier list does give you kind of these kinds of more precise definitions. So that's what I want to try to do with this. Is make this a bit more specific, I guess. If that makes sense. So I'm gonna put this first one as has many has strengths in most areas. Hold on. I'm still gonna do some stuff on OBS because it seems to be dropping some frames, which is not what I want. Yeah, exactly. Areas, limited weaknesses. Do you think that's a fair enough definition? Has strengths in most areas with limited weaknesses? Because I think that's good for especially with a game like Rivals, where all the characters are very good. I feel like this is the best way to do it. Something like this. So that's why I'm thinking this first section should be called this. Has strengths in most areas, limited weaknesses. Because for top tiers, I think that's what's important in this game. So I'll do that.
What a gamer.
Thanks for the follow. Much appreciated, Silo.
What a god of a gamer. Seriously.
Okay. If we did this. I think the characters you're going to see in the area below that, I think are going to be, has high peaks, but some more noticeable weaknesses. I'm actually gonna move this Chrome a bit over because I want this to be a bit. It's a bit uneven to me. I'll also do the. Yeah, I just think it's a bit fine. Looks a bit more even, and I just find that's nice. Has high peaks, so some more noticeable weaknesses. I think that looks good for the second one. For this B, I think I'm going to go for strong aspects. Not strong aspect. I think like strong. Maybe like high strengths, but many I think like large drawbacks maybe. I think some rather than many, because I think many sounds more like the weaker characters. But what did I say for that? Like noticeable? Oh, yeah, some more noticeable. I'm just gonna capitalize all these because it's bothering me. To keep it consistent at least. So got that high strength. So it's hello. I'm not even going to pretend to know how to pronounce that. So hi 1Z, I guess. I'll say hi 1Z. But what I want to list for this. trying to think of the characters. Like the characters I would place at least generally in this area. I think like so. I think high peaks, but peaks with multiple weaknesses. Ah, it's Nick S. Yes, yes, I know who you are. Glaring weaknesses, but still, I think glaring weaknesses is still strong to be better for the bot for this last one actually. So I'm actually gonna take for that one. I don't like how highlighting the last thing makes you do that. Glaring weaknesses, but still strong. Thanks for the follow, Nick S. Much appreciated. And then I'm also actually gonna get rid of this one.
Seriously.
But I do want to change these colors up for a bit more separation. Actually gonna do this orange. And then I'll do like green and then blue. Just to get some more like color separation. So it looks a bit, you know, a bit nicer. Is he here? But now we actually, with this we now are, with all this now we have like a lot more, we've got our kind of, what do you call it? Our ranks separated, I guess. That's the term we can use for this. We separated out our ranks for this whole thing. So we can actually start with the characters. We'll only be using the top row here, of course. I'm not going to be using Sandbird, and these ones just kind of, these top like things just make it a bit more easy to get the whole thing, you know? Like to understand which characters in which area or whatever. So first we're going to be starting, of course, with Absa. And I think honestly, I think most people probably agree where Absa is. I'd say Absa is probably here. Absa has strength in most areas, but with limited weaknesses. Aspects of her character, such as extremely high combo game, really good mobility, high versatility, like in how she can be played and what she can play and bring to a situation. Yeah, she's very good. I feel like honestly, this is probably one of the easiest choices we got for all these characters. I feel like Absa has that. She has just so much like going for her that she can really do anything she wants, and that say like she's just most likely going to be in this top tier. But also remember, we are going to be ordering this, so once we get to another character, we're going to have to figure out if they want to be above or below Absa on this ranking here. Because like for that I want to list what our weaknesses are. Like weaknesses, like as much as I say it, I'd say it's not a weakness. Lightweight is a weakness to an extent, just on pure, especially and fairly in this game in some matches, in some matchups. I mean, I'd say like against a player with really good combo game and just really good at getting those like kill confirms, Absa does die quicker than your average character, and that's a really important thing you have to classify. I feel like defensive Absa kind of, in certain matchups or against players who are good against her, Absa's like defensive playstyle just kind of gets shut down because a lot of it can be disrupted a lot by crouch cancel. Which a lot of characters, I'd say, you can give her more trouble. Can have very good options like crouch cancel. Characters like Clairen, I'd say like Ranno, Zetterburn, but I wouldn't say really, but also Zetterburn just kills at yeah, like that's a good point because I think like I'm a Ranno player myself, of course, so I feel like Absa can't out defensive Ranno because Neil stacks just matter so much more, and then also Ranno's crouch is really good, so he can just CC a lot of what Absa likes to do to try to play more defensive, you know. So that's an important thing that has to be kind of real. No, I'm trying to figure out the right like level for this personally for my sound. I'll probably stick it like that. But yeah, Absa, really good character overall. Can play anything. I think very few characters can out defensive her. But then like she kind of suffers in terms of having lightweight. Players who are very good against her can do really well against her, especially if they're playing defensive, because defensive Absa's counterback's pretty simple to be honest. and you have to kind of be really smart in how you play and get the most out of your advantage state if you are playing an Absa purely defensive. I think top Absas like Penguin can play either or, which is why in their cases you have like in their cases they are just insanely good because oh yeah, I can't just play this defensive game and then also play this really good aggressive game. I think playing Absa top level you do have to be able to switch around your play styles. Like I want to play aggressive here, I want to play defensive here. So yeah, I think that's honestly all I want to say about Absa. Next we're gonna be going on Clairen. That's actually a good point. I'm one between like I think okay, never mind. I think Clairen goes here. I think Clairen has high peaks but more noticeable weaknesses. Clairen's an extremely strong character. You've had really good reps with her. You have players like SBS, Plastic Dinos, Japal. There's other ones I'm definitely missing because I don't know the NA Clairen players too well, apart from Plastic Dinos and SBS. But what Clairen does really well is she's really good like neutral, which contrary to popular belief is a thing that's really important in Rivals. I wouldn't say guard of course. How can I forget guards? But yeah, guard of course. Clairen is really strong neutral, which is really good. She has really good range. She can pretty much convert off of any tipper hit, which is super important because she's got that. She succeeds in that mid range so well. Where I'd say most characters aren't really that good. Most characters I feel like outside of like a lot of burst options don't really succeed too well in like mid range. But Clairen's just having a sword is just so big. I'd say the only other characters are like other disjoint characters or characters like insanely good burst options with the latter being characters like Etalus or Ranno or Maypul or Orcane or Ori. Or a lot of characters. A lot of characters have really good burst options in this game, to be fair. But I think the issue with Clairen is she kind of struggles in like the close quarter situations because her average frame data is a lot slower than most of the other casts. Like her jab's like frame 6 or something. Like frame 5, frame 6. That's not good. You don't want to be dealing with that in this game because you can't really like have a quick option to force people off you in kind of more ambiguous situations, which is so important. Excuse me again. But yeah, the only thing she kind of combo food, like yeah, she can kind of dash outside, but that still is really noticeable startup. And then also like it kind of have to like suspect that 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 they're gonna get hit by that, but they're expecting you to be where they are. So like yeah, she's kind of combo food. She doesn't really have anything to get off you. Her recovery is pretty bad. Like once someone's comfortable with parrying when someone is comfortable with parrying up B and then she just kind of dies a lot of the time because she has really basic recovery. Even like Forsburn and Zetterburn now have more mix-ups than her. Like she really has nothing to stall out herself, which is extremely bad. Well, this version of Armor is really nice. But yeah. She can also like struggle to kill without setups a lot of the time. I feel like there's characters who are worse at doing that, like struggling to kill without setups. But she definitely does have it, because like things like S smash don't really kill at the ledge. Things like she can't really kill unless she gets like an S smash to the ledge or like a down air setup or an up smash setup. She really needs a setup to get her kills, and she has a lot of them. But the issue is if you can't get like I'd say past around 130. Then she kind of just doesn't have anything. She just kind of use a random move. Of course, you have things like instant short up instant side B, which are really good. But it's obviously if someone's playing around that, then they're not going to get hit by that. I feel like also Clairen has a lot of struggles with getting zoned out. Like she's meant to have plasma field to kind of circumvent that, but also it's also really bad if the player is able to have any semblance of knowledge of how they use that, because like once the option's shown of using that to kind of get past projectiles, then a good player should be able to be wise enough to play around that. Sorry, I have no clue why I'm yawning so much. And yeah, Raki, she does have a lot of bad mix-ups off stage. Like she doesn't really have anything if she has no air dodge. So I think honestly Clairen is here fine enough. Next, we do have Elliana. Elliana, I'm a bit stuck between this and this. Because I feel like Elliana has enough good rep on most regions to where she could be this, but if you look at her purely from a design point, she kind of does go here. But just because her kind of archetype and what she is kind of meant to have a lot of weaknesses, but then just in her situations, she kind of just clicks. Just clicks and you die for like an insane comp, or you take like 70% and end up off stage. And you're like, well, that was really nice. No, wasn't it? Like, but to figure out where Elliana goes exactly, I want to list off what she can and can't do. Elliana, really good zoning game, except for like Steam. It's like once you figure out how to deal with Steam, then that's not really a good zoning game. But things like side B, she can really play a general defensive game really well and kind of run away, force occasional hits until she gets a good starter because she has flight and she can use Steam in midair to release a lot of her overheats. Yeah, her disadvantage. We'll get to that when we get to the downsides. Yeah, she has really good. She has an obscenely good combo game. She can convert off of a lot of situations, which is really important in this game. Like a lot of her common neutral options can definitely just lead straight into a really punishing combo if the Elliana player is good at doing that. Her downsides, as Soda mentioned there, really bad disadvantage. Honestly, the worst in the game. Yeah, like the only thing she has to really get out of things is up B out of combos because she can't even like double jump away because her double jump is the unique float. So like she just kind of has to take a lot of hits, and then if she wants to get out, then she has to force an air dodge, which is horrible for her. So like if you play around the up B or like the Elliana does the up B bad, then oh well, looks like I'm dead, or like taking a huge punish. Her recovery is really bad. Like for an air character, her recovery is horrible because like I'd say at least Ranno can stall out really well with needles. Any like a continual hitbox will just force her off stage and be such a huge threat for her to trying to recover. Uh, I'd say we were talking about Clairen having issues killing. Elliana has so many issues killing. If she doesn't get a setup, like she needs a setup. She's the only character in the game where you can't just charge a smash attack once you get a parry and you'll get a kill at like 150, because she can't unless she's overheated, and that's so bad. That's honestly so bad. She has to work so much harder than I'd say any character in the game. And that's not just for getting like the parry punish I was talking about just there. I'd say like in anything she just has to work so hard. So like she has her ups and she can do extremely well, but she just has a lot of issues, a lot of glaring weaknesses. Etalus. I feel like Etalus goes here as well, but I think above Elliana. Like I'd say like, of course, when like this is like full stream's main character, but then that also you have to realize that kind of doesn't matter too much. Because like it's rivals, everyone can do super well. I'm actually going to go get a drink. I'm going to be right back. I need to get something from my throat already. Yeah, luck easy recovery feels like a better matchup straight alley. Anyway, hi, I'm back. Etalus, I'd say, as was going before, like he's better. I'd say he has a lot of weaknesses, but he's slightly better than LA. He has things like he has an obscenely good combo game, really good advantage sheet. I'd say a very threatening future for players who aren't really that comfortable with it. You have things like dash attack's just such a big threat at all times. Armor can be hard to deal with, like in certain characters, or if you're unfamiliar with it. He can like really take a lead and then just run with it, but he needs to get that start. He needs to get that lead going. Yeah, like Fair's a really big tool for Etalus because he can armor through things, which allows him to get approaches in, and it's also just really powerful. I'd say up air can like just outright kill people at a really good percents, like where it combos into, because you just can't recover from it sometimes. Or if you do, then you have to spend like a lot of resources in certain matchups, and then it's like, oh well, looks like if I don't get this mix up, or he doesn't mess with the edge art, I'm just dead, which sucks. So hold on. So what does he struggle with? He's really huge, really bad disadvantage. I'd say outside of like F tilt, fair, and nair, and dash attack, he has a really limited neutral, and he does have to approach like certain characters. You can control the ground, like, and he has to approach characters certain matchups like Ranno, like Orcane, like Sylvanos. He has to approach them in really predictable ways because he can't really get around them. So he has to play on the ground and then hope that the player kind of messes up, which really sucks. So, and like he gets out defense, like any character can really out defensive him, bar the ones that like don't have projectiles like Forsburn and Clairen. So he just kind of he's really good at doing his thing, but I don't think Etalus is really good at doing like anything else outside that. He can't really adapt too well in the middle of a set. Yeah, he gets Placam hard because like he only can really use up air to challenge above him unless you're like at like a floor height, which then like whatever. Yeah, he has up tilt, but like the higher platforms are just such an issue because he has to commit to an up air. So it just ends up with like him being like, he has a really good combo game. He has really good advantage, but he needs to get the hit, and getting those hits can be an issue, even though he gets a lot off them when he gets in. I'd say he is pretty like a grappler, to be honest, like in most traditional fighting games. But he just has a lot of issues that he has to deal with. He just gets combos and set off stage. His recovery is really abusable. Like you can just a lot of characters can just kind of rinse repeat edge guard him if he has no resources, and then with resources, like he's pretty limited unless he's able to get to recover high. So yeah, I'd say that kind of goes on him. Forsburn. I am going to put Forsburn here. Forsburn, I'd say like just with how long Cake Assault's been doing so well, I can't see Forsburn being in this bottom tier here. I feel like Forsburn has to be here because I feel like he has multiple weaknesses. His weaknesses aren't just like noticeable like Clairen or other characters. Yeah, some characters can recover the high recovery in Etalus pretty well. The only reason I was kind of saying that is more of a good thing is because Ranno can't really. That's my own experience. Because like I just mostly. So, the Forsburn. Forsburn's of course one of the most meta relevant characters purely because Cake Assaults ruled the game or has done super high levels for the past like 4 years ever since RCS started. He's just been doing so well with this character. And there've been a couple other really good Forsburns. You have players like Mentos, SPS used to use him, Corks. So like he's a very good character, but he just has a lot. He also is pretty high demand and has a lot of weaknesses. he has issues such as he is like a really good. Well, that's sort of good sides. He's a really good combo game. I'd say like a pretty. I'd say like. I wouldn't say like good neutral, but I'd say like he can be pretty free in his neutral, which is good because it kind of makes you hard to understand what he's going for. Combust and like just having full charges in general helps him out a lot, just in every way. He can get a combo extension. Well, not a combo extension, a combo ender to kill like really well. He can get extra layers for his recovery mix-up, which is something he really needs. He has disjoint. Disjoint's really important in this game. Like, he has long disjoint. Because, like, some moves in this game just have disjoint despite, you know, not should having them, because they're usually just, like, limbs. But he has, like, proper disjoint because he has, you know, he has a dagger. And though he has moves that don't disjoint, he has a lot of really good moves for that. He has some really powerful kill options. Things like dare, up smash, back air, all really good. You can set up into them pretty well. He has a insanely good combo game. Everyone's seen how Keikasol can just delete stocks. If he's really fast. He's got really good movement, which I feel like something like I have to mention. Because like the only other character you can really mention that before that would be Absa. Because like of course everyone's got really good movement rivals, but I feel like when I say like really good movement, I think it just means slightly ahead, like a slightly ahead of the curve, or the average. So, what is Forsburn suffering? Well, I'd say apart from Elliana and Etalus, I'd say apart from any heavy characters, he has the worst disadvantage of any character. Purely just because he can't really stick out buttons. He even Clairen has something like good option like Nair or something occasionally. If she's in the air, just purely because it covers all around her. Forsburn really has nothing to ever kind of defend himself if he's getting hit. He's getting hit a lot, which is horrible for him. His recoveries are super abusable. He can have some issues struggling killing, although he can like down smash does also kill at that point, and it's a frame 11, really annoying move, but like it's still kind of bad. Yeah, like the most he has is fair, which is super small to like get people off him. I'm just like, yeah. He does feel pretty he kind of does like I'd say like he can make comebacks, but he has to work really hard for a lot of comebacks. So that kind of sucks for him a lot. You know, the more I think about this, the less I actually kind of really know full about Forsburn. So if there's anything else anyone wants to say about Forsburn, then go for it. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to Kragg. Okay. If we have nothing, then we're gonna move on to Kragg. I'm trying to take my dressing gun off. It's a bit warm in here. Kragg here. I think Kragg also goes in this bottom area. I'd say above Etalus, honestly. The whole thing is like, you can say, oh, obviously, like, oh, Kragg's really bad. He's the worst character in the game. I feel at this point there's too much like too many strong players that like with the character, where I'd say like Kragg just like doesn't really, you know, I can't say he's worse in the game. He's just got too much going for him. There's too many things. Let's start off with this. He has some really good buttons. Things like he's got fast buttons, he's got strong buttons, he's got far-reaching buttons. He has burst options. He pretty much has like everything for like most situations. He's got a really good like defensive game, and then also like his offensive game just hits you really hard, and like any combo is just gonna send you off stage or into the air, where he can just kind of hit you a lot. He's insanely technical. I feel like you have to for beating good Kraggs, you have to have a lot of matchup knowledge, and then also just abuse the Kragg's downsides so much. He really has has a lot of ways he can kill. Like he has a lot of raw options he can kind of throw out, like things like fair or up air once he's got an advantage. He down smash is pretty quick. He can do a lot of things. Like I feel like just like the level of technical ability he has is what pushes him above the Etalus and Elliana here. It's just that the level of technicality is what you need for it, but it's also what makes him be able to contend a lot. So like, if that made like no sense, but like his technical prowess as a character and all the things he can do with that, I'd say are the things that can help Kragg succeed at a higher level, at a top level. If there's more players like MSB, like Jimben, other technical Kraggs I'm forgetting off the top of my head right now, then it's just like ZV even, like then you just have like, yeah, then Kragg's able to do well fine at a top level, which is why I don't view him as being bottom in the game. Maypul. Maypul's a character I think very highly of. I'd say honestly just that people are going to really go after me for this, but I'm putting Maypul here. I think Maypul just has so many things going for her and so like limited like actual weaknesses to where I think that she can be a contender for being in this top area. The thing is, Maypul's got a really solid neutral. She has a really solid neutral. She's extremely fast, which allows her to play really high on the things she wants to, because she can kind of run away, or she can go into the opponent's face if she wants to. She has an extremely good combo game, pretty reliable ways to kill if she get on like edge guards. The fact that she has that her tether 50/50 to kill off the top is insane. Like just in general, that she even has it. But like, you know, what else? Like just the fact Lily exists and there's an option she can use, because that just her having Lily is really good. Because like, oh good, I just have to have the extra hitbox out, which I can combo into, which then will allow me to get a kill or get a huge percent. She has really good recovery with resources. I'll give with only resources, but once with resources, her recovery is like second to none in the game, just in the distance it can travel. Maybe besides Wrastor or Absa. She has really fast buttons. Like she just does pretty much everything, and her only real downsides are she can have issues recovering with her resources. She's light, and you know, if you're bad with Lily, then it dies. But I think honestly, Maypul has enough to where she's in this top area. Orcane now. I'm going to put Orcane here above Forsburn. Orcane's got really good things, and I'd say like Orcane's been as good as being like contended as a top character. Like for the entirety of Rivals, excluding the oh there it is. Okay, my webcam focused again. I'd say aside from like the short break between D-Brick not really entering stuff as much, and then also Zaro being like revealed as being in like top 5 level, I'd say the only that gap there is the only time you've not had like some Orcane in top level, and there's so many high level Orcanes as well that are around that top level as well. Like the character's got so much, like the character's got really like non-committal neutral, which I say is like a thing most characters don't really have in this game. So like Orcane has a really good combo game, extremely good tech chasing just purely on how fast Orcane's frame data is, which is another thing. I feel like Orcane, unless you're able to like if you don't know the Orcane matchup, then I'd say apart from like characters like Kragg, Etalus, or Elliana, then I feel Orcane just kind of runs over you if you don't know what to do against her, especially if in terms of things like edge guarding Orcane, which is something I personally still struggle with also. Orcane also just sometimes kind of obliterates people. and like kills like 80 with purples, and it's like, well, okay then. So in that case, you're just like, yeah, the character's good. What's the downside? The downside is this character just dies in like trying to play like a more defensive neutral if someone's willing to outcamp Orcane, because like Orcane can like shut down areas of control, but she can't really contest space with projectiles really, because you know bubbles only have so much range and the droplet does as well. So she kind of has to, if someone's willing to play outside that range and is also like proficient in parrying bubbles, then it's just like, oh well, what does Orcane do now? And she just kind of has to control the space she has with back air or down tilt, and that's just a really bad position. Her recovery, if you know how to recover Orcane, is also trash. Like, their Orcane's recovery just kind of gets obliterated off stage if you know what you're doing. Something I don't know how to do, really. Probably have to be more patient and use more needles. But, yeah, Orcane. I'd say, like, Orcane's one of the few characters I'd say in this game that has no issues killing, because you know you just have down smash at the end of the day. Frame 6 option that kills and crosses up and everything. Woohoo! What a fantastic. Ori. Ori is also going to be at this top area, I feel. Ori is very good, as we all know. Really good combo game. Yeah, really good combo game. Really fast, which is really good neutral. Probably the best burst range in the game, with options like up air, fair, dash attack, even like wave dash for def tilt. Extremely good airspeed helps her so much. She's pretty decent enough recovery in some matchups. Some matchups she can kind of get obliterated sometimes. She's really brutal. She can brutally kill sometimes. She is the best edge guardian in the game, in my opinion, purely on how powerful Sign F Smash is. So, what are downsides for Ori? Light, can struggle to kill without hitting a smash attack. What other issues does Ori have? Predictable recovery in some matchups, like Ranno can do really well against her. Recovery, Absa can. I'd say anyone who can willing to be patient enough to deal with Ori's mix-ups and wait for Ori to land and can also react to it, then Ori kind of suffers recovering. Unless she's got resources and or does stuff like or you know does the really advanced stuff, things like perfect souls to get perfectly on the stage. Yeah, like Ori really has to get her kills off of edge guards or like a setup into something, and especially now with a charge sign being nerfed, that just means that she kind of suffers a lot more, because now she can't really rule neutral as much just by running around with charge sign. So you have to play Ori has to actually commit a bit more, which is super bad for her, but Ori's just still such a good character otherwise. Oh, here's my boy. Here he is. It's Ranno. Ranno gets to be here. There he is. It's Ranno, everyone. He's right there. Camera. He's right there. Somewhere over that way. Yeah, Ranno. He's very good. Extremely good character. Obscenely good neutral. Really good movement on the ground and on platforms. Really threatening hitboxes with how big they are. Down tilt up smash is literally one of the most ridiculous confirms in this game. I'm not even joking. Like the fact that he gets a option that kills off the top at like 100 or below with a frame 4 option is ridiculous. Really good burst options with dash attack and especially Dacus, which also just comes to your main kill option. And like if you get hit by it at 140, you're dying. Obscenely good edge guarding. The fact that tongue is a thing is really good. So like, yay, tongue. Good for it. What else? Mention neutral, I think, which is needles, which is like, woo. Thanks, Vladim, for following. It didn't show up that you did, but I appreciate it. I'll go play it on my Streamlabs now to so you can get some satisfaction in this life. Whatever, I'll show up eventually, hopefully. And I'll play it. But what is Ranno issue with? Ranno's main issue is he sucks in the air. He has no airspeed whatsoever. All his hitboxes leave him really vulnerable once they whiff. So then he just gets whiff punished. So what you have to do is Ranno, you have to play really around the ground on platforms. Oh. I'm sorry to hear that. But thanks for the follow now. I'm glad you realized your mistake. I don't want to skip. I want to get this. It's not like popping up at all, which sucks. Anyway, whatever. Ignoring that, let's move on. Let's move on. Orcane. What? No, Orcane. We're back to Ranno. Airspeed was what I mentioned there. Also, kind of gets destroyed by any amount of disjoint purely on his amount of disjoint he gets on the few options he does. Also has like very little disjoint and also has the hitbox right there, the hurt box I mean. So then it's just like, well, looks like I'm getting hit. I'd say like honestly with like Bear being nerfed in the ways it has, he kind of doesn't do as well as he doesn't like win every trade he gets now, which is really bad for him. Cause like he used to get like in some matchups he can still like win the majority of trades. Like but then like in some matchups like Orcane, he just kind of loses every trade he has, which sucks. Just purely on like things like Orcane down tilt or stuff like always pretty much coming out the better. Yeah, his recovery's bad. He has a lot of mix-ups with his recovery. He doesn't have like his out recovery is really bad. So if you can cover the mix-up, if you can cover the mix-up or you just read it or whatever, then yeah, then Ranno just suffers because he usually has to use at least one resource with his mix-up also, which means like unless he just does like straight up B, in which in that case that's super easy to punish because up B is really bad, and I will not be convinced, and that the disjoint actually hurts him more than helps. Because if you have to recover with just up B, then you just get hit because the disjoint gets you hit earlier. Dan, please change it. I will take less, like so much less of a disjoint for up B. I will take so much less of a disjoint on up B if you just give it more base knockback. So then like I don't just lose any not even trade, but if I just hit them, then I don't just immediately get hit off again. Whatever, we're not here to complain about that. Also like in between the range where until Dacus kills, I'd say like Dacus outright kills. Like yeah, until like Dacus kills, like he does have some issues killing outside of setups because like he doesn't really have raw like aerials which kill. Like I'd say every character here, maybe bar like Maypul, but then also her design doesn't really like allows her to just kind of do obscene upstage things. But yeah, like every character here has like just one aerial that just kind of outright kills, and like the most Ranno really has for that is Fair, but then also Fair has like 2 other hitboxes, and like so, and also it's like it's kind of just like he doesn't really have an option. He can just like stick out until Dacus percents, or he's just like, yep, I want to kill you, so I'm gonna use the option. Also, Downstrong, I'm going to use this opportunity just to quickly mention Downstrong's a horrible move. Please rework it in any way. Ranno Downstrong's the worst strong in the game, legitimately. Maybe apart from Forsburn F strong. Shovel Knight. He's here. It's him. It's Shovel Knight. Also, yeah. Before we move Shovel Knight, yeah, Tongue Sling. He doesn't act until he hits the ground or like the wall or wherever the tongue slang like connected to the surface. He can't act until then, so you just hit him during that. Shovel Knight anyway. I'd say Shovel Knight purely from his design has to be here. I can't say if I put him above or below Orcane. Excuse me. I put him pre last patch. I would have put him above Orcane. And that's purely on Ghost Gloves. And also Downer. Like, Ghost Gloves and Downer being the way they were would put Orcane below Shovel Knight in this tier. I don't think so anymore. I'm more conflicted. I think I'm actually still going to do it though. And the reasons are the moves are still ridiculous. Those moves are still like two major parts of his kit. Two major parts of his like 5 to 6 moves. He's John Cena. He has 5 moves of Doom. He has Down Air, Ghost Gloves, Air Smash, Nair. Tongues are or tongues? Tiers are ordered, yes. Tiers are ordered. Raggy, you said before in the Discord that you thought Elliana was the worst character in the game. You can't say anything. I'll be putting this on YouTube also, unless this is how you're watching it, so you can see why I thought Kragg was better than Etalus and Elliana, and why I thought, like, it's less Elliana's like a definitive best and like worst of the game. She's not like, oh, everything she has makes her the worst of the game. I'd say it's just everything the other characters have make them better than Elliana. But anyway, we're not talking Elliana, we're talking Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight, really good options. He has like just he has a couple really good options. We can edit this. If you bring me a good point, I'm willing to change a couple things around. But for now I'm gonna keep talking Shovel Knight. Ghost Gloves are insane, and they're like, they weren't really even nerfed. You just have to get an extra 400 gold, which just kind of like delays them more. Yeah, I'd say that's fine enough. We can finish the tier list and then we can edit things around. That makes better sense. So, SK, as we mentioned, like, Ghost Gloves weren't really nerfed. Dares, I wouldn't say was nerfed, it just kind of makes it easier to do things and, like, to, like, tell them apart in reaction, which is, like, what they should have been. Dare's just a really badly designed move in general. I'd say, like, he's probably one of the most characters you need matchup knowledge to, like, do well against a good Shovel Knight. He has really good just outright kill options, things like strong-headed air, F smash, up smash. He just kind of kills you sometimes, and it's like, oh well, what could I have done? It was just a clean kill move, true kill move. What's he suffering? I'd say his neutral without Ghost Gloves is really bad. He kind of doesn't really have any way to kind of play defensive. He has to go into your face with like and then with that he has to do things like he can really only like go in with something like a side B, and then get the tech chase off that. Cause yeah, he can do things like raw bear. But that's more like the thing is like if that doesn't hit, then cool, you're just leaving yourself open until you land. I'd say Orcane, not Orcane. Why do I keep going back to Orcane? Shovel Knight, he just kind of struggles like until he gets Ghost Gloves. And there's still no real incentive to get anything besides Ghost Gloves. He has some really bad options, like, well, not really, honestly, like, but like, to be fair, when people use F tilt, fair's all right enough, but like F tilt you just like never really see. But like, so he just kind of, we're not talking about him as, never mind, we're not talking about him as a character, like how his balance is and what he's good at. We're just talking about him as a kind of general character. Sylvanos. This is an interesting one, because Sylvanos, I feel, has been on a high recently. Sylvanos is like, I feel like, honestly, is underrated as heck. I'd say out of any character in the game currently, apart from one other character that we haven't done yet, I'd say Sylvanos is the most underrated character in this game. Because like he has honestly, in my opinion, he is the best Vortex in the game. Pure like I wouldn't say like outright combo game, but his Vortex and Advantage State is brutal. You do not want to get caught in that, just because like his ability to do like so many things is just so good. I'd say like with how Howl is now, I'd say that kind of contributes to it even better, because the cooldown, like, and if you're using it in the Vortex and like to kind of like auto tech chase things, then it's just like cool, I get my hit again instead of using it for zoning, which I think is good. I didn't like Howl being used for zoning. I liked it more for using it like to keep up the pressure. And I think that's what all the balance changes kind of have done with Hoyle. They kind of pushed it towards more being something to be using for like continuing pressure and being aggressive rather than just running away and using Hoyle and then getting hits off that. But yeah, really good Vortex. He has some extremely good setups into things like a bear into up sm like has bear he setups into bear, setups into up smash, setups into down smash. Down smash being, you know, really unintuitive to parry to not parry to GI for those who are a bit more unfamiliar with it. And so really good range also, like things with fair and down tilt of course. He has some okay, let's go on to downsides then. Also, we haven't really placed him actually. I'm gonna place again, you can shit me for this. I'm placing Sylvanos here. I think he's just really good. Yeah, his early his like combos below like 70% are just ridiculous. Like I say below 70% also because like that's kind of usually what he takes you to if you get hit by him like twice. Like the thing is like jab pedal wave into side B up tilt does like 40% and it's just like where did I take all this percent? I had like 3 seconds. It just sucks. We'll get to that because I don't think its recovery is definitely not an upside. What does he struggle with? I'd say also he has issues with getting things off him. Like his best, I'm pretty sure like people are like, oh yeah, he has a escape option with a up B, like aerial up B, but it's also like, I don't think so really. I feel like you have to have such a gap compared to most other like, I'm going to stick this button out and interrupt your combo buttons like Ranno or Zed or Shine. Like those are the main things I think of when like combo interrupting, not like Sylva up B. His recovery is awful, honestly. Like his recovery is literal trash. Not literal trash, but it's pretty bad, I'd say. Especially with the B-Stash nerf now, which makes it like even more reactable, which just hurts him so much. Cause like he just has like an extra like 4, I think it's like another like 5 or 6 frames to where he can just get like for his first reactable frame, which is horrible, which means he can get out of that more. Even like up B, kind of like it's only up B's really only hard to edgeguard when he like burrows into the stage. That's only hard to edgeguard if he's got like grass like in multiple areas. Because also then you kind of stand not if that's not the case, you just stand in grass and then react and then cover it. And every character can do that. I'd say honestly in the entire game, Sylv has the most issues killing unless he gets like a setup or like a random down strong or like a parry, because like he has no options whatsoever that he can just throw out, and it's like yeah I want this to kill or at least send you in a really off stage, because like what does he do? He can't. That's the thing. The best he has is jab, like his gentleman jab. That's like the best he has for like setting up into a kill, like, and because like everything else is too slow or sends upwards. So it's just like he kind of has real issues with killing outside of like getting setups or like things like parries or down smash being dead or wrong. Ooh, okay. I want to take a sip and then we can start talking about Wrastor. Where's Wrastor? Wrastor's best in the game. In my opinion, undoubtedly best in the game. He just has too many, like, he has too many things going for him. He can play he can play any way he wants. He has a ridiculous combo game. Like, when your combo game is like ridiculous when the counter play is just randomly DI and hope they aren't able to follow up on it. So like, yeah, he's got a really good recovery because of the 3 double jumps he has. What else? Slipstream's just a ridiculous tool because it just makes his neutral dumb because he just moves faster than any other character. And combine that with Nair, even with its landing lag nerf that it got last patch, it just ends up with Wrastor being like really good. And he can just kind of go in with Nair and it's so hard to outspace it because of how far he goes and it having 2 hits. So like, it just sucks.
What a
Thanks for the
gamer.
follow, Swamanam. Wonder what
What
that
a
means.
god of a gamer.
Yeah, it's just
Seriously.
didn't follow come up on my thing, lad. I'm sorry. But also, I'm pretty sure that now puts us only one away from 200 followers, which is sick. Like me getting, I nearly have 200 followers, which is like, ooh, that's awesome. Especially since I want to start streaming a lot more. That's really good to see for me personally. But Wrastor, he can really just combo you into kill with clap because clap's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm assuming it's just purely something because you fall before, so I don't know, Streamlabs doesn't pick it up or something. It's something weird. But what else? What else about Wrastor? That's just ridiculous. Have I missed something honestly? Because like, if then like the only downsides he has is he can kind of struggle to kill outside of like outside of like setups if you're able to play around him just doing raw clap. And then the other thing is like he's light, and his recovery without any double jumps just ends up sucking. But also he can kind of get to the ledge anyway usually without having to use any double jumps. So it's just like, oh well. I'd say also a lot of Wrastors like, I don't know, never mind. Alright, Wrastor best in the game. There he is. Finally, we have Zetterburn. We're not going to be ranking Sambert. I have no clue why he's even on this tier list thing. Zetterburn. Again, you can like shoot me or like whatever for this, but I think Zetterburn's here. Oh yeah, that's fair enough. Lack of disjoint does make that hard for him. So he can suffer with disjoint and some projectiles. The thing I'd say with Wrastor and Absa is because of what kind of characters they are, they're kind of hard to play. So like, honestly, to be fair, at top level, every character is hard to play. That's just a standard thing. No character is easy to play at top level. That's why I hate that anyone says like, this character is easy, because no, they're really not. No character is easy to play at top level. It's top level. It's brutal. Anyway, Zetterburn, he's here. I'd say honestly maybe above Clairen, but just I'd say above Clairen, but I think like it's hard to put him there purely because I think European Zetters are just, no offense, but I think Zetterburn's the one character where Europe has better reps for the character, for at least solo reps of the character than NA. I think we do have the Zetter over Clairen, really? We can do that in a bit, because we're like, after we talk about Zetterburn, we can change a few things around. But let's talk about Zetterburn. So what does Zetterburn do? Zetterburn's ridiculous. He's got really good movement, really good space control. He kills you, and also has. Oh, you do have Adi. I feel the thing is like Adi's inconsistent, kinda. Like Adi's peaks are super good, but he also sometimes is inconsistent. I think Fire Icy just is more consistent. Cause like Clairen over Zetter in your opinion? Oh good, we can do that in a bit. But for now we're gonna keep Zetterburn here. This isn't his final spot, this is where we're putting him just while we discuss about him. So yeah, Zetter's honestly got one of the best combo games in the game. Does it? What do you mean by a power tier list? I don't know what that means. Zetterburn. I'm going to get to Zetterburn. Zetterburn, ridiculous advantage. Shine Up Smash is the best confirmed in the game. Yeah, honestly it is. I will not be convinced otherwise that Shine Up Smash is not the best confirmed in the game. Because it just works until the percents where Up Smash, like, the percents where Shine Up Smash doesn't really work is also when Up Smash just kills outright. So it doesn't really matter. Shine Up Smash just kills from, like, anything. And it sucks. Did I do something wrong? I genuinely don't know what a power tier list is. Yeah, it's the best parry punish in the game. And it's also a frame 2 option. It's a reminder if Shine is frame 2 or 3. It's one of the two. I can't remember exactly. I think it's either frame 2 or 3. Yeah, like 90 for like Kragg or Etalus. That's when it kills. But like most characters, you get hit by that like 70, you're dead. And it's like, cool. This option is frame 2. And it's also a combo breaker. I mean, like, I can understand that. I agree. Rivals is obscenely balanced. That's why we have these categories named as such. Like that's why I've listed these characters as such. Like even the quote unquote bottom tier, it's like they're still obscenely strong characters. Like that's why I didn't want to do these things as like S, A, B, C, or whatever. Because like I think that just doesn't do it justice correctly. So I think like honestly that like of course the game is very balanced, of course. But the game's really balanced, but I'd say there's no reason why you can't do this, especially in a way like this, where we're acknowledging that every character has their strengths, every character has their weaknesses. Lad, I will say there is not 19 characters in the game. Like, for literally, like, really, for when we were talking about Kragg, when we were talking about Kragg earlier, I was mentioning how I don't think I can put him like he has the most representatives of any character in the top 50, or in top level general. He's just such a but he's still like considered a weaker character in general. So like, I'd say just like, I feel like there's nothing wrong with us doing this. Anyway, let's get back to Zetterburn. Zetterburn. We talked about his upsides. What's his downsides? Downsides, his recovery. I'd say his downsides are pretty simple, but they're also pretty, really big ones. His recovery, of course, I'd say a lot of top Zetterburns are really good at mixing up recovery, but the character at the end of the day still suffers a lot off stage. And one thing I feel like people don't talk about Zetterburn having issues with, in terms of a downside, is I feel like kind of similar to Kragg, he's played so much to where I feel to be a top Zetterburn you need to be really good. Yes, he does have more mix-ups than Clairen, but it's still really bad recovery. Like the thing of, but like also there, as I was saying, Zetterburn, like how you have to play him, just forces you to be how you play Zetterburn forces you to be so much better than say with most characters, because you're not going to have matchup inexperience against a Zetterburn. You're going to get outplayed by a really good Zetterburn. You're not going to have matchup inexperience against the Zetterburn, because Zetterburn's like the most common characters are Zetterburn, Clairen, Kragg, and I say that's like unquestionable. But I think that's the main discussion at the point. Wait, if anyone wants to talk about where we should put characters exactly, then this is when you talk about it now. Where do you guys think certain characters should be over other characters? Because for me personally, I think I am gonna put Zetterburn of Clairen here, but I want to hear what other people have to say about other things and regarding this tier list. Never heard of this one. Oh, we have Fuller Clown next. Let's go. Maypul Absa should be the top two. To be honest, I already thought that Maypul was like kind of stretching putting her in the very top, but yeah, they don't have many losing matchups, true, but also I think I can put Maypul above Ori definitely because of the nerf. I feel just really does affect a lot of things. You can honestly. I'm gonna put a full Orcane lip. I'm gonna put a lip of a full Orcane purely because I feel it really fits this kind of section of it. Personally, yeah, I agree. It's Maypul's really under repped, which sucks. Because I personally think really good of Maypul. Also, I think Maypul's obscenely good, and it's she is under repped. I think. I was like, I was thinking like maybe I could put Ranno here, but I can't see it myself. I was considering it for a second, but then I was like, nah. Yeah. Something that's also sucks, I think, is sucks. Sucks is Slime's done his 20 billionth character change. He's not playing Maypul anymore. He's now on Ori. So like EU's kind of lost its main Maypul rep, and like EU doesn't really have any Maypuls to begin with that are at the top level besides Slime. Because like Chaos doesn't really play. Yeah, I think Ranno's fine where he is also. Like it's just a split second thing. I'm maybe thinking Forsburn could be over Orcane, but I feel like maybe also is like selling Orcane a bit short. But then I feel like also it's selling Forsburn a bit short. I'm gonna put maybe honestly. I'm gonna do this for now. Cause I think like Orcane's good. I feel like the matchup experience aspect just affects Forsburn way more much. Cause I feel like if you I think a good Forsburn just obliterates you if you don't know how to deal with a good Forsburn. Etalus and Zed are a lot. Yeah, exactly. I'd say that's why I feel there is a bit of a gap between these two. I feel there's a bit of a gap between these two tiers. Like bigger than the rest of the gaps, I'd say, but not like but still like a decent enough, but also not a huge gap. Like I'd say like the gap between any of these ones are like this. I feel like the gap between these two are like this. It's like just a bit more. I feel like it's weird. It's definitely a weird thing. Characters weird. These characters are a bit weird because I feel like besides the very top level representatives, they're kind of you feel like maybe never mind. Orcane has a lot of high level reps, like kind of just before the top end. But I feel like Forsburn doesn't really. Like there's definitely some really good players with Forsburn. And like, but outside of like the top level ones, yeah, I could see that. The thing is, like Ellie just has so many downsides, then that's just how she's designed. I feel it's the same with Shovel Knight, but then Shovel Knight also does his ridiculous things. Like, I feel the later characters, like Elliana, Shovel Knight, Sylvanos, all were designed to be really polarizing. Like they either do super well, or they do just get trounced. Is anyone else got any other objections? Because I think apart from that, then I think we're done. Has anyone else got any other shifts they want to make? Otherwise, I think I am done here. So I think personally this is really fine. If I get any complaints from Zetterburn talking about how they're like mid-tier warriors or thing, I'm going to scream. Like I said, I feel just like purely like from the European point of view, I think Zetterburn just I can't see Zetterburn in the bottom half of a tier list. It just doesn't make sense. But I think that's it. I think that'll be it. I think that's the tier list. This is what we've got. Bottom tier, we have. We'll go from bottom to top. So Elliana, Etalus, Kragg, Orcane, Forsburn, Shovel Knight, Sylvanos, Clairen, Zetterburn, Ranno, Ori, Maypul, Absa, Wrastor. Ranno top 5. But yeah, I think that's it. Does that change this one or? No, that just changes that. Cool. What did I have? Oh, crud. That was it, right? That was it. Okay, we're going with that. Yeah. That doesn't look right. Why did I actually ever click that? Anyway, wait, what did... That's horrible, I hate that. Why did it just remove those three? That was weird. Whatever. Anyway, we're done. This is our tier list. We made this together, chat, you and me. There it is. Thanks everyone for watching. If you're on the YouTube, then make sure to subscribe, because I'm going to be doing uploading a lot more things. This will be the first thing I do upload. So I hope to see you whenever I stream next or whatever. So thank you for watching, and bye.